But see, this is the thing though. You really can never win an argument with a nigga that looks like this. Look at this nigga's beard, bro. Look at this nigga's hair. And this nigga was a millionaire moving like this nigga. This nigga was a millionaire moving like this, gang. You cannot argue with a nigga like this. This nigga does not care about anything. The main thing I was finna talk about, bro. Trae Young and Pat Bev got beef. I don't know how. Apparently, it's like some niggas is doing podcasts. I don't know why. Nigga, Trae Young's podcast is weak, by the way, but whatever.
Now
bro.
it appears as though everybody and their mother decided it was a great time to grab a mic and basically go at it. So, even though it's been a while, we're gonna drop our opinion on this. Hey yo, what it do, YouTube? It's your boy Alvin Mike from LTA, and in today's video,
LTA. Oh, I thought it said LTR.
So let's talk about Trae Young, Patrick Beverley, and this little back and forth that's
because Jeff Teague had a whole thing about it, but I didn't have time to watch that because niggas got, a lot of shit going on. So I don't know what happened. All I remember hearing is like Pat Bev was talking about Trae Young was never at the training facility for the Hawks. And he's saying that Trae Young's not a leader, but Pat Bev was a, a I don't even know how to describe him. He's like a Dylan Brooks. He's been Dylan Brooks his entire career. So I don't know what niggas is talking about.
Started all over a simple highlight reel of a run that included my boy Malik Cash Out Beasley. You know, he beat the case, but that don't mean he didn't do it. Anyway, on
He
September
beat the case,
13th,
that don't mean he didn't do it.
A video was posted. I say a video was posted. A video was quote tweeted. It was a video of an indoor run for some NBA players. Wasn't really any superstars. It contained Malik Beasley and I forgot who else. And basically the quotation of
Wait, Tim Hardaway
the
here?
tweet said, honest question, why do NBA players play so hard in random open gyms in the summer, but give no effort in the All-Star game with millions watching?
That's a question.
Now, after
That's
seeing
a fair
this,
question.
Patrick Beverley decided to quote tweet this himself and say, because All-Stars take the game for granted. Not one All-Star on the court, good bump, right?
That might
now,
also be
true. The
true.
thing about this is, someone replied to this in the comments.
And to be fair, it's during the season. Like, nigga, if you roll your ankle during All-Star break, you're missing like a week. Or you might miss like a week of an actual like season. But nigga, if you do it in the summer, nobody cares.
And that someone just happened to be Trae Young, who responded, relax, let us speak for ourselves.
Damn. Okay, so Trae Young kind of started it then. I thought Pat Bev started it. That's what I heard.
This little interaction ended up causing a series of 3 separate videos.
So that's passive aggressive, my nigga.
3. Which I'm not gonna lie, we should have expected because it is what it is. But let's get into the videos. Let's get into the videos first. Honorable mention to KD, who basically asked,
"Hey, this shit getting out of hand, man. Come on, Pat. You sound delusional, brother."
Pat not to go at Trae because you know what I'm saying. It is what it is. But basically, the first initial video that Patrick Beverley dropped, if I quickly flick my notes back to page 1, was Pat basically discussing Trae's comment. And I'm not gonna lie, for Trae having used 1, 2, 3, 4,
Jeez, nigga, is this nigga from Baltimore?
5, 6 words, this was quite a lengthy response, and it felt.
I'm trying to think. You pinpoint the accent. Where could this nigga be from? By the end of this video, I'm gonna make a guess.
Pat was more butthurt by what Trae said than the actual sentiment.
He's a British African.
I know.
Come on, dog.
And the reason I say this is Pat basically starts off by saying,
look at this nigga's hairline, by the way.
On this podcast, we ride or die for Trae. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Anytime a man starts something with, hey, man, trust me, I got all the support in the world for you, and puts a butt after it, just know whatever's coming after that is a whole lot of slander, and whatever came before it really don't matter.
Mad hatred.
He basically said Trae don't have enough to speak to him, because he referenced the fact that in Trae's 7 years in the league, Trae has only made the playoffs 3 times, whereas in Pat Beverley's entire career, he made the playoffs 9 times, having made it within his first 7 years.
Yeah, that's so insanely stupid.
And he also basically referenced the fact that Trae Young would have to go perfect for the next 6 years to try and catch up to him. And if Trae doesn't win before he retires,
that's so stupid. Okay, this nigga was on the team with. Let me check the stats. He was on the team with LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, James Harden. Who else, nigga? I think was he on the team with KD at one point? I feel like he was. I don't necessarily remember when though. I think he was on the team with Cat too, Joel Embiid. He's had a lot of niggas on his teams. Trae Young has been the best players Trae Young has had on his team outside of like this team that he has currently is John Collins and DeJounte Murray. Come on, dog. Like, let's not do this, bro. Trae Young was, and I'm biased. I'm a Trae Young fan. Like, that's my dog. But Trae Young was a rookie. Let me not even talk about his rookie season. Trae Young in his second year, I'm pretty sure, took the Hawks to the playoffs. Uh, he's damn near undefeated in playing games. I'm pretty sure until like last season or something like that. He he consistently overperforms in the playoffs. When he's in the playoffs, he's consistently clutch. He consistently what's it called? He got to the conference finals. Has Pat Bev even been to the conference finals? I think was that the Rock? I think with the Rockets, yeah. But outside of that, I don't think he's been to the conference finals. Actually, wait, was Pat Bev on the Lakers against Jokic? I don't remember.
Everyone's gonna
Damn,
forget who he
bro, my
was,
memory's so
and
ass.
he
Oh my
doesn't
gosh,
believe
bro.
that Trae Young will make the playoffs 9 times. Let alone he also
But yeah, Trae Young, like this isn't even a conversation. Like Trae Young is a winner, bro. Like, come
has
on,
people within the organization who basically tell him that the Atlanta Hawks are the Trae Hawks, basically making
the
reference to
Trae
the fact that he
Hawks.
believes no one enjoys playing in Atlanta, no one wants to come to Atlanta, and it's a weird one. Watching this little
That's also stupid. Nobody, no star player has ever gone to Atlanta to the Hawks. Nobody's ever done that. One, and then two. I mean, do niggas want to play with Trae Young? Maybe not, but that's just because niggas don't want to play with Luca either. So what does that mean?
first video, my initial response was this
Shit, KD said niggas don't want to play with LeBron. Like, what does that mean?
seemed more like Pat was trying
I
to
think that's a lie, but
attack Trae for don't talk to me like you can talk to me. And I'm not gonna lie, using the reference guide of I've made the playoffs 9 times, I got all the love in the world for Pat. Let me put it this way. Back in the day, Pat Beverley was really causing problems for some of your favorite players, mainly because he was a nuisance. I mean, he was really good defensively, not one of the elite like Tony Allen, but he was a nuisance whereby he's a real small guy who's really active on defense. And if you've ever played basketball, you know one thing. If it's a small dude who's active, he can really cause problems for you down there.
that's
But
facts.
that's what he did. But the issue here is when your reference guide is comparing the fact that you made the playoffs 9 times, and let alone you made those 9 times whilst you're on teams that were somewhat super teams. Whereas for Trae, every time he's made the playoffs, he's been number one. He's not been
He's
number two, three,
Trae Young has been the best player on his team since his rookie season. I don't think from the time he got drafted, I'm pretty sure he's been the best player on his team.
four,
Like
five.
this
I'm
isn't
not
even a
gonna
conversation.
lie. Pat was usually like number 4, 5, maybe 6 on the team every time he made the playoffs. So from this video, the main thing that we got was Pat was trying to attack Trae, basically telling Trae, "Don't talk to me. You're not on my level. I'd take it if it came from
Wait, did I even mention Kawhi Leonard and Paul George? Because yeah, Pat Bev played with them too.
KD, LeBron, blah blah blah." But the truth is, those aren't the guys only who can talk to Pat. There's a lot of dudes who possibly have one ring, or even an MVP with no rings, or even multiple All-Star appearances, who, in my personal opinion, can talk to Pat. Mainly because, again, made the playoffs without really being the leading star or being a member. Like, for example, Lou Will was a bigger impact on the Clippers than Patrick Beverley ever was.
That's questionable. I think Patrick Beverly contributed to the culture of the team. Him and Montrezl Harrell and them niggas, I think they were like the vocal leaders, but like as far as like just pure basketball, I think Lou Will was definitely a better player. Like
But anyway,
by a
I
long shot.
digress. I want to get through all the
By a
videos
long
before I
shot.
give my final comments. So the next video that came out was Trae Young's response video in response to Patrick Beverley. Now, the first thing that I give
See when see when niggas start putting on the clear glasses, it's over.
gotta give props to Trae for is he willingly noticed that Pat Beverley's first reaction seemed like Pat Beverley was really just trying to,
And this nigga got the what are these? I don't even know what these are, but he got the awards in the back. You see what he doing?
generate content. This seemed like a clout move whereby Patrick Beverley basically said, "What's the best way to generate some views, some reactions? Basically, go at Trae." And in Trae's video, he basically firstly referenced the fact that they've both been to the conference finals once. Trae was more
Mm-hmm.
the gentleman in how we went about this, because this was one of them I'm smacking you type responses, but I'm smacking you and then giving you a hug to console you. He basically asked, what has Pat won? The fact that Trae's got a Jordan endorsement, Pat will never know what that weight feels like of having an endorsement because
When did Trae get a Jordan endorsement? He was Adidas at one point, right? And then I
Pat
don't know when
technically
he
never
went
did.
Jordan.
Mentioned the superstars Pat played with because, as I said, has played on some stacked teams. He's played with Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook,
Forgot about Chris Paul.
LeBron James, James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, just to name a few. Anthony Davis. Like,
I forgot about
Pat Beverley
Anthony
has played with quite a few
Davis.
superstars.
Yeah.
Your favorite superstar has most likely played with Pat. If your
Nigga, it's harder to name niggas that haven't played with Pat Bev.
favorite
Pause.
superstar played between the late, let's say early 2010s to late 2010s, they probably played with Pat. Anyway, he also mentioned the fact that Pat was celebrating play-in wins, whereas for Trae, the bigger thing was he was celebrating getting to the playoffs. He celebrated the fact that he's made the playoffs 3 times in his first 7 years at the fact that he joined the league when he was 19, whereas Pat Beverley joined when he was 24. He also mentions the fact that he was never scared when he saw Pat on the court, which I can kind of get, mainly because small guard against small guard, I can see why you wouldn't be afraid of Pat. Like, he could really get to you, but the issue is the way Pat plays, especially in this modern day league. They'd have called a bunch of fouls on him, which would have been unfair in my personal opinion, but it is what it is. He also mentioned being carried by a lot of all-stars.
Nah, I don't think it's unfair. Pat Bev be fouling niggas,
Knew
to
that
be fair.
Pat, basically, he was going at Pat, right? He was going at him. And then he basically ended the video by referencing the fact that Pat meant a lot to the game. The fact that he made it to the NBA is a big accomplishment in itself, and that's no small feat. And then he kept referencing the fact that this year he's trying to make a championship run. They've got Kristaps Porzingis, who he believes is going to be a key piece, and also that he believes Jalen Johnson's going to be an all-star for the first time in his career this year.
Yeah, I'm telling you, my Hawks of the season, my Hawks of the season. And no, I said I'm not a Hawks fan. I was lying. My Hawks of the season were at least getting to the semifinals. At least getting to the conference semifinals. We might get to the conference final. We might win a chip this year. I'm just saying. I think if there's any year we're gonna do it, it's gonna be this year. Trust me.
Which I also believe myself.
Trust me.
And then finally we get
Cause who else is in the East for real? Like the Celtics finna fall off, nigga. Like it's
Patrick
over.
Beverley's last video. Now at this point, we moved from the point of basically referencing those.
And then my other team, the Spurs, they're definitely going to the finals as well.
This is the fun.
If Wemby's healthy.
Anytime there's an argument, when that argument is started off of something, but it wasn't really meant about that, you will always know, because later on in the discussion, you'll find yourself lost in regards of what was this whole argument about, which when watching the third video, I said to myself, wait, was this not about the whole mention of All-Stars not playing at the All-Star game? Because in Pat's last video, not to dash out Pat, but it was basically him going at Trae, talking about, Trae, you gotta win. We want you to be, we enjoy the NBA when you're in it. We need you to leave your mark on the NBA. We need you to be an all-star. We need you to win rings, which I hear. It's basically Pat going at Trae for more his ability and what he's done so far. The fact that coaches have come in, been released because of Trae. Players have come in and been traded because.
Look at this nigga's hair. And this nigga was a millionaire moving like this nigga. This nigga was a millionaire moving like this, gang. Actually, I don't know, cause this was like mid 2010s. I don't know if he was, but this nigga was up moving like this. You cannot argue with a nigga like this. This nigga does not care about anything. Look at the way he plays the game of basketball. That nigga does not care about anything.
Said Trae has turned Atlanta into a situation whereby, because of how unsuccessful he is as a superstar, a lot of other people are suffering, whether that be GMs, players, coaches, anyone you can think of. And that's not a lie. That is really not a lie. But to keep this video short and sweet, because I didn't want to basically play all the video clips and then show the reactions, because I didn't know whether that's what you guys wanted. To conclude this, Patrick Beverley basically took this as an opportunity to challenge Trae Young in regards of Trae Young's ability of what can you do? Because let's be dead serious, Trae Young has built a model for himself, or at least a character for himself, in the fact that we saw Trae Young as the same way we saw Ben Simmons as the next coming of LeBron, we saw Trae as the next coming of Steph. Because if you remember watching Trae in high school, that boy could pull that thing from deep and he could shoot that thing like no man's business. And Pat does reference that. He references, you are the closest thing to Steph we've ever seen it.
Okay, super off track. What do you even call this article of clothing? And what is this material?
And it's true. So the issue is, with standards like that set on you, people expect you to succeed the same way Steph did. But the thing that people are forgetting is, in Steph's first few years, I don't believe, Steph didn't get it going until like year.
It's like a T-robe.
He didn't win a ring until like
a T-robe is crazy.
Year 7, year 8. So technically, Trae is on projection. Steph wasn't really being mentioned as an MVP until after like year 5.
That's
Which is
facts.
ironic because the same thing could be said about Trae. The only issue is we're all looking at what Steph has done most recently. We're not looking at how Steph started because I watched Steph in the start. I've been a fan of Steph since Davidson. And
Trae Young, to be fair, Trae Young's way more, what's it called? He's way more healthy. He hasn't been injured as much as Steph, but like as far as like career path, he's on the same track. Um, he's on the same track.
the issue
I don't know. I don't think he's gonna. I don't want to say that because I fuck with Trae, but I don't think he's gonna make that jump because it was just a different time. So a nigga shooting like that is crazy back then, but now it's nothing new.
is
So
in
I don't think it's gonna take over the
his
league
first few
the
years,
same way.
we didn't even know if it was going to be his
But I do think he'll start winning a lot more. So
team or whether he was going to be in Golden State the whole time. So I feel like the guideline that they're putting on Trae, it is deserved, but it isn't deserved. The other thing I have to mention is Pat Beverley does mention the fact that where he says, can they not criticize Trae because they criticize everyone else? And there's an issue in that statement. You can criticize Trae. The only thing is, come directly at him criticizing him. Don't do it behind the whole thing of don't talk to me, don't do it. Like the first video Pat Beverley dropped, I'm not gonna lie, that was some disrespectful stuff. That was no criticism. That was more a statement of you're beneath me, stay beneath me, don't talk to me. So I can get why Trae felt the way he did. But Pat Beverley does have ground to stand on in the fact that Trae Young has caused a bit of an awkward situation in Atlanta. He's the superstar. He's been the superstar. Prior to him, as he said, the last time we saw someone being a point guard helping lead the Hawks was Jeff Teague. And since Trae Young's taken over, they have made a conference finals, which you got to give him a lot of round of applause for. But the issue is you
now
got
hold on. Dennis Schroeder was also leading the Hawks for like a season.
to win.
Dennis
You got to
Schroeder.
succeed. You got to basically showcase that you're that guy. Because Trae Young has led the NBA in assists a couple times.
That's
Trae Young
facts.
has been one of the top scorers in the leagues a
That's
couple
facts.
times. And it's the thing whereby at this point, what do you need to win? You need to win. So what do you need the team to put around you to win? And at this point, I really do believe the squad they have around him right now with Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Jalen Johnson, Kristaps Porzingis, just to mention a few, that's a squad
Yeah,
that can win.
it's probably it's the best. I think it's the best squad they've ever had around them. Yeah, it's definitely the best one they've
So
had
Trae really needs to go out there and win
in
because
at least a
otherwise you're
while.
screwed. As for Pat Beverley, I'm going to say it this way, man. You really doing that content game because, yeah, the way you were throwing shade at this, man, you could tell you wanted people to click on this. The only thing is, again, if you're going to reference at him, man, you got to do it properly, man. Go directly at him. Don't go sideways. If you're going to go at him, go at him. So, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video.
Actually, no, not African British. He's Caribbean. He's from the Caribbean somehow. I'm knowing.
If you had wanted me to do the content a little bit more differently and possibly watch the videos and live react to them, let me know down below in the comments because that is also an option. In my personal opinion, this is a debate that should have never started. I don't really see this as anything too major. I know there's a bunch of reaction channels that are probably watching this going, oh my god, blah, blah, blah. This is starting a beef. This is blah, blah, blah. No,
It doesn't matter.
it ain't, man.
It's
It really
basketball.
ain't. At the end of the day,
Niggas
this is
just
just
talking.
two competitive guys who really got into it.
Yeah.
And yeah, they just spoke their minds out openly rather than having this discussion behind closed doors. I honestly believe had this discussion been had behind closed doors, it'd have been a lot better. The other thing to mention is in reference to the original tweet that basically asked why do these guys play a lot more intense in open runs than they do in the All-Star game? Think of it this way. The All-Star game is exactly like your work when they tell you you're going on an off-site day, whereby you're going to go do some team building or character bonding type stuff. You don't really work that hard, do you? You chill, you relax, you have a little fun, you basically see your friends who you work with, and you know, you kiki, haha, do all that stuff. That's the same thing for NBA players. Whenever they step into the All-Star game, that's how they view it. They're there to have fun with their friends and just kick it around. Now, obviously, there's a few million people watching, which technically means they're still on the clock, but that's their day off-site. So I get why they're like that. And when you wonder why they play so hard in these summer runs, firstly, sometimes it's because the competition they're playing against, they can't afford to lose against them because it will be a bad luck if they lose. And secondly, it's during the summer. You got to remember, this is the lead up to the NBA season. If you've been training all off season, in the lead up, as in the final few weeks, you're going to be pushing yourself to really ramp it up, i.e., you're going to be playing in style.
Conditioning
and when
too.
you're
I
playing
almost
against an
forgot
ordinary
about that.
person, that's going to look a lot nicer than it really does because, yeah, there's no LeBron to tell you swing the ball. There's no KD to tell you hand it to me. Nah, you're going to have dudes like Dorian Finney-Smith, just to mention him off the KD reference, playing their hearts out because, again, They're wrapping it up for the NBA season. They gotta push themselves. They gotta motivate themselves. In which case, you will see them playing a little bit harder in these summer runs. So that's my conclusion. That's my 2 cents. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video, which if you did, don't forget to hit that like button. If you're new to
Appreciate
the
it.
channel and you haven't done so yet, don't forget, hit that subscribe button and turn post noties on. And down below in the comments, as I said, let me know, would you rather we
Shit.
do these as a live reaction where
Shit, I might, bro. I might. I actually really like this. This was solid. That's
now it
fire.
appears as
I'm a sub for sure. If you fuck with the video, you know what to do, bro. Like and subscribe, bro. We going to 1K. We going Cloud9 on niggas.